Hello, everyone. It's Bridget Willard here from San Antonio with Laine-Naida from Bremen in Germany. And we're going to talk a little bit about his new course, Smart Seniors. So in kind of like we think these ton of friends and my aunt who's 78, who I talk to about this, and they say, I don't want to ask my kids because they don't explain why and they make me feel stupid. And this is the boomer generation, right? The Woodstock generation, the Vietnam War protest generation. Women were working. That's why the Gen Xers were latchkey kids. These are smart, educated people who had amazing careers. And now you put a tablet or a phone or a computer in front of them and they feel so intimidated. So can you tell us, Warren, what is this course and how does it help teach seniors with dignity?
Okay, sure. The Smart Senior course, it's really, it's not about how to use a smartphone or how to use a tablet. It's really, the focus isn't on devices, you know. Um, we live in a digital world right now, and that's not going to, change. And there's more and more seniors. I mean, I'm almost there. In 2 years, I'm going to be 60. You know, so it's not a a strange a group that's hidden away. Um, you know, um, but the seniors, because they're not working, they're not as maybe tech savvy. They're not using tech like we do on a daily basis. Now, that's not to say that they're completely excluded. A lot of seniors have devices, and it's very similar to every other demographic. There's some seniors who have an old smartphone. There's some seniors who have, like, the latest iPad, and they're using, the Thermal Mix app, and they're doing their banking online. So, seniors are just like, the other demographics. Some people are really heavily into tech, and some people aren't. So I think, from the groups that I have and that I've talked with, I find the similarity, you know, across ages, and it's really just, it's nothing more than about participation, about getting people participating. It's also, I think, a lot about accessibility, and a lot of the questions I do have are also about safety, because people would like to go to a website and they're confronted with, a pop-up, do you want to accept cookies? Or they would like to order something online and they want to make sure that they're not going to be ripped off. They want to be able to open emails safely. So, safety is very, very important. And the last part is also that tech is it's a social tool. It's this sort of collaboration, but it's also meeting with friends on either a social media network or Skyping with grandchildren. And for some seniors, they're not as mobile, or maybe they're not living in communities like perhaps some other seniors. So it's a way for them to connect. So these things are really important. And I mean, none of these things are any more or less important for people our age or our kids. These are basic sorts of things that everyone needs. And so that's at the forefront of the Smart Seniors program.
Oh, and you're so right. Like my mom has always been a computer nerd. Her brother was a computer nerd. I always learned tech from them. And I mean, still, my mom's whatever, 69 years old, and she's a gamer, hardcore. Whereas, you know, I have another friend who's like a mom to me, who's over 65, who literally texted me last week saying, how do I find a hotel close to the airport? And I'm like, do it on Google Maps. And she didn't realize that you can click on a place on Google Maps then click nearby, and then write hotels,
Mhm.
right? So it's not that she's not smart, it's that it's not part of her daily job. So and she's not a big traveler. And when she does travel, somebody else is doing the arrangements, right?
Yeah.
So I like that you're approaching it not as, oh, this big group of people is completely stupid, right? Just like, hey, what is it you're trying to accomplish? So can you talk a little bit about the structure? So it's not about learning your iPad or learning the Samsung Galaxy phone. What is the structure of the modules for the Smart Senior course?
Okay. Um, just to get back to what you were saying, it's, each of the modules, there's 6 modules, and really they are about problem solving. They're about that you have a problem and you'd like to solve it. And your example of the map is really great, because this is something that you can solve easily, using Google Maps. But if you've never had to do that, then of course you will feel you won't have that confidence of doing it. But once you've done it a couple of times, you've got your increased confidence, you've solved the problem, and now you become independent. You still like to have your kids around, but maybe you don't need them all the time to explain things. And that is, with the kids, that is also something that often comes up in the groups, is that seniors would like to have an app installed, or they would like to have their laptop updated, or they would like to boot a new device, which is great. The problem very often that I hear is that their children are doing this for them, but they're not explaining what they've done or why they've done it. So every time something happens, they have to call their kids back in. And, seniors, just like the rest of us, I feel a little irritated when I ask my son, to hook me up for a game, and he just does it and then walks away. It's like, well, hey, what did you do? Because then I know for next time. And so everyone has this. Everyone would like to know. You fixed your car, so what did you do, just in case it happens again? So I know. We'd like to know this. This is important, and I think that's really important. So all of the modules, the focus is to deal with a problem. So there's 6 modules. And the first one, the module 1, is what does digital mean to me? And by the way, because there's 6 modules doesn't mean that you have to go from 1 to 6. You can cherry pick them. Oh yeah.
Okay. Take them in whatever order.
Take them in whatever order. You don't have to do all 6. You could say, oh, I like what this module is offering, and just do that module. But there's some people who like to start right from the beginning and go all the way to the end, and then that's good for them. So the first one is really it's an overview about what digital means. But for people specifically, and this could be something really basic, like explain to me how a browser works, or what the difference is between a tab and a window. But it could be something much more advanced, because everyone has different levels. So it's really understanding, what applications people would like to use, what problems they would like to solve, and then answer these sorts of things directly. But I do find in the first module that really there are a lot of these sorts of beginners. But it does turn out at the end of even the first hour that people who thought that they knew very little, turns out they know quite a lot, but they just don't have perhaps the right terminology to express what they want. So I think that's the point of the first module.
So do people take it on a schedule? Do they take it on their own time? Is it live? Is it recorded? What's the structure?
Well, there's 2 options. We have, well, actually 3 options. We have them that there's a video that they can do their 1.5 hours on video on demand. The second option is that we do it in groups. And then the third option is that some people would like to do it one-on-one.
Uh-huh.
And there's some people, they feel uncomfortable doing it in a group, and they're not so interested in the social aspect. They just really want to know, how do Excel tables work, or how can they use Photoshop? And that's okay. So, we do offer it in 3 different formats.
Nice. So the course is in English?
The course is in English and German.
Oh.
Yeah. The video is in English with then German subtitles. The courses that we're offering in person, because I'm sitting in Germany, these courses in person are held in German. These are the only 2 languages at the moment.
Okay, and so what's the procedure? What if somebody's super interested in taking one of these courses? What happens next?
Well, if they're super interested, then they should definitely contact me. And, you can click on enroll in this module. You won't be automatically enrolled. There'll be no money, nothing's going to happen. All that you will see, all that will happen is that you will fill out the contact form. You will tick which modules you're interested in, and then we will be in contact. This is no obligation enrollment.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yep.
All right. So what one thing do you wish people would realize about seniors or the baby boomer generation?
I think the most important thing is that, and I think probably the last 2 years has shown us this more than anything, is that we're all pretty much in the same boat. Digital isn't something that has just happened. I mean, the people who are retired now built the internet. The internet's been around since the 70s, so it's been around for 50 years. So yeah, I think, what we refer to as the digital immigrants have much more experience in digital than the digital natives, simply because they've seen everything as it's developed. And they also have really important problem solving and skills and work abilities that transcend digital. They can put together a project if there's no electricity, and that's something really important. And we can't forget that.
Yeah, Gen Xers and baby boomers, we can work if Slack is down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, yeah, I've worked 20 years in the industry and just started to use Slack in the last couple of months. Been completely fine.
All right. Well, that's a great overview, and I hope that all of you tell your friends. I know my sister-in-law used to have a date with one of her friends. They would go to the movies, and then at lunch, they would show each other things that they learned on their iPhones that week. And so even the learning can be an opportunity to have a social bond and to talk about things that you learned, which is always more interesting conversation. So thanks for telling us about it, and I hope you get lots of enrollments.
Thank you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.